Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. We have three brand new decks for you today, and with those three decks, we've got an Infinity winning deck. This deck has won like 5 Infinity borders already this season. You've got to try it out. We also exclusively have the number 3 ranked deck. We're the only place you can find the current number 3 ranked deck in the Marvel Snap Infinite leaderboard. Let's get started with your literal. Oh, yeah, no. This is your last chance. I had to double check the date. Cinco de Mayo. This is your last chance to sign up for Snap Judgments League Season 2. This is a league-based tournament where you play one game a week on your own schedule for up to $700 in prizes. This is your only chance to play great players, or probably your best chance at the very least, to play great players like Lambie, Tucker, hey, me, myself, Super Tech God. There's like 50 amazing creators taking part in this tournament. Every single pod, unlike last season, will have its own top 8, so you have multiple chances to win, multiple chances to compete. Make sure you sign up and check it out. In addition, we're giving away 5 season passes right here on this very channel. You can win one in this video. What you're going to do is you're going to like and subscribe, and then you're going to leave a comment. Here's the comment. Did you sign up for the Snap Judgments League? Why or why not? That comment will enter you to win a season pass. You don't have to have signed up to win. Just answering why you didn't will help you get that season pass, or why you did. It'll be a total random drawing as long as you answer that. Every video from last Thursday's video to tomorrow Monday's video will have a chance to win. Every video has its own specific question. If you go to that video, you watch the video, like, subscribe, answer the question, you are entered to win a season pass. Also, our Twitter giveaway is live. It's at Snap JudgeCast, and it's the pinned tweet. You can enter to win very simply, one of 5 season passes there as well. We're giving away a last 5 season passes, and the announcement for how to do that is going to be on tomorrow's video. It's a huge announcement of this new thing we're doing. Many of you have been asking for gameplay from this channel. Well, I figured out a way to get you the gameplay you want. Make sure you check out tomorrow's video for a chance to win those last 5 season passes and get that huge announcement. Our first deck, this is the number 3 ranked deck. This is FAK Mulwin. FAK being the team name from several players in Eastern Europe, like FAK Crazy, who is the current number 1 player. This is a Loki build, but what this Loki build is built to do is to counter junk. It's a deck that is built specifically to beat all the junk decks that are in the meta. And as such, it runs a few cards that we haven't seen in, well, 2 cards that we haven't seen as much in modern Loki decks. One we've never seen in Loki, as far as I know, and one that has sort of just fallen out of popularity and fallen out of favor with the wider meta. We've got Carnage as a way to say, oh, you want to give me a Void, you want to give me a Widow's Bite, whatever. No, thank you. I will instead just have a 6 to 8 power card, and I can perfectly happily eat my Snow Guard or like a Rogue once it's done its thing or whatever else. The Rogue is here largely for opposing Mobius, but hey, there's lots of good targets. Taking away a Luke Cage can be game winning for these matches. It's just really powerful. And Red Guardian gives you sort of a backup. There's some redundancy there. While Cosmo, if you are good and can predict where they're going to Annihilus, can absolutely ruin their life. I think Loki is great, but that Annihilus matchup can be difficult unless you happen to grab their Annihilus with your Loki, and this deck has other options to win that matchup. I think it's a really, really great build. And again, its win rate right now is like 67% according to Marvel Snap Zone. And on top of that, it's hit number 3 on the Infinite Leaderboard. So I don't know what more you want in terms of proving this list. I strongly urge you to try it out if you like Loki, if you're good at Loki, and you're struggling with that junk matchup. All right, so Mulwin is rank 3. You can make a few replacements here. Snow Guard can be Maria Hill. Red Guardian can be Luke or Mobius. Jeff can be Mirage, Valentina, or Sentinel. And Mockingbird can be Devil Dino or Iron Lad. All right, so again, this build is phenomenal. So turn 1 is, as usual, a decision between Snow Guard and Quinjet, and it's a decision that's really hard to make. If you have a lot of card generation already, then Quinjet's better. If you don't, then Snow Guard's better. If you have Loki Do you have other generation that will give you a good Loki? Then Quinjet's amazing. If not, I'd rather have more cards than the extra -1. All right, Cable over Jeff, turn 2. Cable on turn 2 has so many uses. It tells you basically almost always what your opponent is playing. You can get a snap condition out of it for certain decks. It's just really powerful. Sometimes, like, you hit a Modok and they're just dead. You hit a Hela and they're just dead, right? But even when it doesn't, even if you hit like a Blade or a Red Hulk, like, you just have so much information at that point. Turn 3, Coulson and all the other threes are situational. I will often hold off on turn 4. Just if I go Coulson on on turn 3, but I have Red Guardian or Rogue, and then they play their Mobius, I will hold off a turn to Rogue or Red Guardian that Mobius before I Loki on turn 5. The extra -1 is worth the 1 turn less of Loki in most matchups for me. You can also perfectly fine play Coulson on turn 4 if that makes more sense. Turn 5 is Loki or Mockingbird and stuff, and turn 6 is Shang-Chi. Ideally, turn 5 and 6, you're spending a decent amount of your time playing some generated cards, right? Getting that extra power out of those situations. But this build is, again, really strong, and you should absolutely play it. If you have access to these cards, I do not think you will regret it. I'm going to have to get the Venomized, Carnageized, whatever, Loki. I've been avoiding getting it. I have a bunch of different Lokis, but I think it's time. All right, please hit sub, hit like, hit comment. We do a video 7 days a week here on this channel. We never miss a day. We bring you at least 3 brand new decks every single weekday. We cover all the Marvel Snap news, all the Marvel Snap takes, new cards, everything you need for your Marvel Snap journey, including bundle guides. Hit that sub button. Have a chance to win one of 15 season passes every month by subbing. Ring that notification bell. If you are already subbed, thank you so very much. If you're willing to, like, comment, watch as long as you can. It really helps us with the algorithm, and we appreciate it. Questions of the day. ST Don't Be Evil asks about how bundles worked in Snap's first year. So there were very rarely big bundles in Snap's first. Sorry, there were very rarely bundles right at the very beginning of Marvel Snap. There were basically a few $100 bundles, one like every other month, that had really, really great value. Then we started to get more bundles of differing value, and we started to get like variant focused bundles. They used to have a lot of value, and with time they started having less and less value, right? That seems to be spiking again as we're back to the value before they killed the data mines and then killed the value. So I think that bundles are basically back. My working assumption for why is that everyone stopped buying everything when the value went down because they had set an expectation with their audience that they then weren't fulfilling. Unibot wants to know what sample size I give a deck. So in terms of the channel, I want 40 games as a general rule. I'll take less for Conquest or less for proven deck builders or top of ladder decks. If you're dominating at really, really high infinite, or you've made like 4 or 5 really great decks, then I will take less. If you're like, this is it, I know that trusting that person's gut makes more sense, right? Otherwise, for like random people looking for 40-ish games, what am I looking for in my own decks? I don't play that competitively. I'm sitting right now at rank I don't know, 7,000-ish, and I haven't played ladder in 3 or 4 days for more than a game or two. I've been doing my dailies in Conquest. I have a million tickets. I spent most of the season in Conquest, and like I have a million tickets that I haven't had time to use. I had a bunch of union things to do this weekend. So my sample size is mostly other sample size. I play the decks. I spend most of my time playing Marvel Snap, testing the decks for the videos, getting a feel for them, knowing their turn by turn. Am I successful with all of them? No, absolutely not. Every deck is not to my playstyle. Every deck isn't to my liking. But anything I'm going to play more than that is something I have fun with. So I've been playing a lot of Bounce. I've been playing Den has the deck that I called Den Shell in Friday's video. I've been playing a lot of that. I've been playing a lot of Butts free deck. Like there's a lot of decks like that I've been messing with. Fire Troll wonders why Move can compete now and what has changed in the process. Nothing has changed. I don't think there's any reason Move is better now, except that a few players started doing really well in tournaments with it. And when they started doing well in tournaments with it, other players who were also good at Move started figuring it out. There's a very not peculiar, brain type that is really good at Move. My working assumption is the best Move players are the type of players who play casual games and go infinite when the game is like sort of like not perfectly made, because they can see all the lines for the whole game pretty freaking clearly. A lot of great players don't like that type of deck or aren't as consistent with that type of deck. Like genuinely top of ladder players don't play move often because they're looking for efficiency and move is high rolly. But if you can see all those lines, those high rolly decks can compete. They can get you into the cut of tournaments. I think move is real. I think it's one card away from being one of the best cards, the best decks in the game in these players' hands. I think that like part of what keeps it down is cards like Professor X and Junk can be frustrating for the deck. Bill Rosendale wants Second Dinner to make a Star Wars game. And bad news, FFG owns the Star Wars license. FFG is the company that made the game I played prior to this, Game of Thrones Living Card Game, and I don't trust them. They make a lot of games that are really great, and then through poor management, they let them die. They also don't make digital versions of their game, so there is no digital version of the game. I would love it if Second Dinner got that license and had a chance to make a Star Wars game, but I don't think it's especially likely. Also, if you're interested in Star Wars, next week, not this coming week, but next week's whatchamacallit, custom card challenge will be a Star Wars one. All right, our next deck is Intero's Infinite Conquest, and we're not going to have a break between the second and third deck. This is Interrobang's deck. It looks like a standard Hela deck, but it is feasting on the meta that is Loki and Junk heavy. It's just going way, way, way over the top of these decks and not having really a hard time beating them at all. Decks that want to card spam get creamed by Sandman. Decks that want to like junk you up get creamed by you just going so freaking big. All right, so you can find Intero at twitch.tv/Interrobang. It'll be on the podcast, I believe, next week. It's next week or 2 weeks. Time is running together. Corvus is needed for this deck. You can try Maximus for Jeff, and Red Hulk can be Giganto. It's not as good, but you'll be fine. So in Conquest, Intero has gone 44-11 with this and won 5 Infinity Borders with an 80% win rate. I don't know. I feel like this is probably the best Infinity Conquest deck with those stats, and you should play it. Whatever the meta is in Infinity Conquest, this is eating it. So turn 1 is passed, turn 2 you'll happily play Jeff, turn 3 is Corvus is better than Electro as a general rule. If you've got some stuff, right, like if you're trying to go big, you're trying to go like Ronin, Sandman, Red Hulk, maybe Electro's better, but generally speaking, you would rather Corvus here. Turn 4, you'll Juby if you didn't have Corvus or Electro, but if you can, you'll Ronin. You don't really want a Sandman on 4. You will, like, if there's absolutely nothing else to do, but it's not ideal. Turn 5, if you played Ronin, you can end up... Excuse me, if you played Ronin, you can end up playing... Or you have Hela. My brain froze for a sec, sorry, excuse me. If you have Ronin, or you're planning on playing Hela, Sandman makes a lot of sense. If you play Hela after a Sandman, they can play 1 card, and you just ended up playing, like, 6 big things, right? Or 3 big things. If you played Ronin, you want to play Sandman to hold a bunch of cards in your deck, and now that Ronin's going to have a lot of power that can win you the game. If you don't have either of those plays, you can just drop Doom perfectly fine here. If you are going to play Hela after Corvus on turn 5, you want to drop that, assuming you haven't discarded Odin. Even if you've discarded Odin, you want to drop that Hela on that Corvus so that, like, if Odin comes back, or if you can play Odin next turn, Corvus will discard 2 more cards, and then Hela will trigger and pull those back. You can also just, on turn 6, play Hela. You can Odin on Doom as well. Or you can, if you've got that, like, Sandman thing going, you can drop Red Hulk or Magneto. And there's just a lot of power in this deck. Again, this is completely, completely dominant right now, and I urge you very strongly to give this a try in Infinite. Our last Infinite Conquest deck is from our friend Fazer Snap. Fazer got an Infinity border with this and insists that we try this deck. I tried it. It's great. You should play it. We've seen lots of decks like this. This one's got a couple cool things to it. And that being, I really, really like Daredevil and Cable right now. They're extremely threatening. Cable, like, honestly, just confuse your opponent, gives you snap equity. Mobius helps you beat Loki. Daredevil gives you just extra snap equity. And then you have the, like, different tricks. No one's playing Ms. Marvel anymore, and I don't know why. She's still phenomenal. So for this deck, you can find Fazer on twitter.com/Fazer_snap. Maybe one day he'll stream again, and I'll stop being mad at him. Nebula here can be Nightcrawler. you really do want Jeff for this list, largely because of Professor X, but also partially because of the Ms. Marvel. Um, I could see Cosmo being the Mobius replacement here. Red Hulk can be Magneto. You're going to need Cannonball and Ms. Marvel. This isn't one of those decks where Omega Red can replace Ms. Marvel. You can try it, but it's like a major, major loss. And without Hope, you can run Pixie if you also have Mobius. I know that's a replacement of a 5 for a 5, but it's the change. And I also have a Gladiator thought, and that thought is for the time being, for the next month or a month and a half, Gladiator is the most important 3-drop in the game because he's so much more stats than everything else you can do on 3. Um, I mean, other cards can get as big as he does at 3, right? Like, even Wolfsbane can get to a 3/7, but not on curve. So Gladiator being so powerful on curve makes him the most powerful 3 in the game right now, and I think he's probably a must-have card. However, in 2 months, if they release Fastos the way he's data mined, Fastos is a 3/3 that's on reveal. Give every card in your deck either +2 power or -1 cost. That will outpower Gladiator as the go-to card. I think Gladiator is so good that we're even seeing a little bit less Hope Summers than we would otherwise. So I think Gladiator is warping the meta. He's a requirement for this deck. If that wasn't clear, you should have him. Like, otherwise, you just lose so much tempo. It's really hard to. All right. It also gives you play into a lot of combo decks. If you can blow up a combo piece, you win. So again, this one an Infinite Porter. Turn 1 Nebula. Turn 2 Daredevil is better than Cable, is better than Jeff. Again, Cable is so strong right now. I like that Fazzer is using Cable as just a good stuff card because he belongs in more. Turn 3 Hope is better than Gladiator, is better than Mobius. There's some debate to that, but not a ton. Hope gives you a chance to Red Hulk. I guess you can maybe play this without Hope. I don't know. Hope is really nice when you don't see the right curve, right? If you don't see the right curve, if you're stuck doing like strange things on turns, Hope gives you the energy that still pull out wins. But she's not like key to the core strategies of the deck. Turn 4 is Ms. Marvel or 3. Turn 5, Professor X or 3+2. You can also just drop Ms. Marvel fine on turn 5. Turn 6, Cannonball and Shang, Red Hulk, or Jeff and Ms. Marvel. And any of those are really powerful closers, depending on what the opponent has done. Awesome deck. Props to Fazzer. Hope you try this one out as well if you got Cannonball. Doesn't seem like Cannonball's going anywhere. It's just a meta card now that is in a lot of really good decks. Sorry. All right. Certain tiers of support on Patreon come with on-air thanks. We are going to say thank you to Abigail Kiesland, Mandatory Burnout, hey bud, Cables, hope you're doing well, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, did you sign up yet? LAB, Thor Newman, who's having a rough time, you should check him out on YouTube, show some love, tell him I sent you. Good Dog Gamer, hey, This Is the Way, hello Scotland, Ink, Jay Nevereat, let's go Infinite again next season, bud, JD Metaldino, get on Twitch, Caretix Lee, the best questions in the business, Koirei, coming all the way from Japan, Hierophoros, who does amazing work with miniatures, The Goat Seeker, Denman Falcon, check him out on YouTube, Doku, Philip Ratkovich, mod, awesome tech builder, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, Juan Diego Labed, The Bizza, X-Force V, who we have to ask, do you play a lot of X-Force cards? Or a lot of X-Men cards? Skippy G and X-Force V, they rhyme. Apparently that makes people happy. Snap Judgments League Season 1 champion Tommy Nyquist, Black Dahlia, The Great Kazoo, The Great Jessica Campbell, The Great Ryan Wood, The Great Kevin Cihoda, Kev Cihoda, excuse me, Luna Chris, my former student Louis Antunes, Mod Supreme Models, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrumix, Hoot, Matt H., Mikey Hijings, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, Craig Sterry, loving your comments lately, Craig. Pretty damn chill. Seamus, hey bud. Spike Jones, always on YouTube. Two Ties, another mod, another good friend. The Pirate King Tucker. The Homie Min, Rito in Disguise on Twitch. And Gunny T, where the T stands for. Damn, that thanks took a long time. Sign up for Snap Judgments League. It's your last chance. If you don't, you're going to miss out. I'm telling you, don't have FOMO later. Go now. You need to figure out how to do it. Check the description to this video. Peace.